They built a whole system on you not knowing your worth. Today, that changes. Stop asking, start doing. Make the move, build the life, take the leap. I'm Gabrielle Elisabeth, and this is The Audacity. Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Audacity. I am Gabrielle Elisabeth, your host, and I am so excited about today's episode because we are going to be talking all things bachelorette. I just came back from my bachelorette party this past weekend in Miami with my girls, and man, was it fun. Now, we're not going to be talking about the nitty gritty details. We're not talking matching outfits, even though we did have them. We are going to be talking about my network of women, my network of girls, my Gabs girls is how they titled it. And how I was able to cultivate these relationships to have these successful women show up for me, even when they had to move mountains to be there. So, something that I think about a lot is the saying that you are the sum of your five closest friends, and you can tell how successful you're going to be based on the five people that you surround yourself with on a consistent basis. You can see it outlined because we're some of our habits. And being on this bachelorette and seeing these women really made me see myself in a very clear way because everybody there is so successful. And when I say they had to move mountains to be there, like people had to truly move around their schedules. We had people that were on Broadway tours. We have moms living across the country. We have people dealing with personal issues within their families. And they put all of that on pause for the weekend to pour into me. That is incredible. That is something that I never thought that I would have, specifically from women. Like, I didn't grow up around a lot of women. I grew up with six older brothers. So I understand men a lot more than I understand women sometimes. But like, the older I've become, the more I realize how important it is for women to have these relationships with other women. We pour into each other in such a different way, specifically as I'm watching my friends in motherhood. And I know that that's something that I want. You know, I am a stepmom and I love that, but I know that there's something different about birthing a child and what that does to your body and how you go through that and still push forward and still chase ambition and have audacity when you still have these very like physical things that are happening to you. Uh, but yeah, it was just so incredible to watch years and years and years of relationship building within my group of women like come to light and like be able to see all of them at one time. It was magical. It was magical. So, um, these relationships didn't happen by happenstance. And something that I think isn't talked about enough, people always talk about build your network, like find a mentor. And we're always looking externally. But how are we pouring into those people? We have to add value to those people's lives in order for it to come back to us. We can't always be take, 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 take. You have to figure out how you are contributing to that network as well if you truly want to have a network of value. And so, just how my friends showed up for me, I do that often for them as well. There has to be reciprocity. It can't be one-sided. And I've known some of these women for almost 10 years, which is crazy. We're there for the highs, we're there for the lows. We help each other with relationship building, and we share our networks with one another. But we're only able to do that because we all believe in each other in a way that sometimes we can't even believe in ourselves. Like, I feel like they are always speaking to my future self, not the person that I currently am. They see my dreams so clearly and they speak to me in that way as opposed to like meeting me where I currently am. And vice versa. I think so highly of all of them. And that's only able to happen because of our history and because of showing up for one another. I also think that it's really, really important to have a strong network of friends because there will be days where you're like, what is this even all for? What am I doing? Why am I even here? Why am I still trying? Am I even good enough? And those people are the ones that you turn to help remind you of who you are. And I'm not talking about every person in your network. I'm talking about your 5 to 6 closest friends, the ones that know you better than anybody else and have seen you through multiple phases of your life. Those are the ones that you turn to. That can be your partner. That can be your parents, your mother, your father, your siblings. It doesn't matter what the title of these people are. It's a matter of how they are showing up in your life and how you are showing up for them. And personally, I've had many a days where I've been low and I've called one of my friends and asked them to like, or I didn't even have to ask. That's what's so cool. But they would hear the distress in my voice, or they would hear the pain in my voice, and they would just start telling me all of the things that I somehow had forgotten in that moment, and vice versa. And I just think that that is just so incredible and so important and not valued enough, because we, especially as Americans, we think that we're just supposed to like tie our bootstraps and like keep going and just keep swimming, as Dory would say. But that isn't reality. We need people. We need people. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to be the person that doesn't know enough in the room. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Like, these are the ways that we actually grow and can find our people. And sometimes to build your network, like I keep talking about not being a person that's only take, take, take. Sometimes to build your network, you have to be the overgiver. You have to be the person that's asking for the coffee date. You have to be the person that's asking for the lunch. And you might get told no. I get told no a lot, and it stings. Or you might be left on red because you see someone that you want in your network and you're trying to reach out to them and cultivate a relationship with them, and they're just not in a space to make that happen. But I encourage you not to let that stop you. You still have to keep asking. And who knows, that relationship, they might start reaching out to you in the future, depending on where your career goes and what's going on, and if there's a need that they have for you. That's why I was saying it's so important to identify how you add value into other people's lives, because sometimes people just are not in a space to expand their own networks, and that's fine. But I do think that you need to leave those spaces when maybe you're not responded to or you're blown off. Leave it amicable. Be nice. Either if they don't respond, just leave it there and don't say anything nasty back to them or have an attitude when you see them or make it weird when you see them. No, you just move on with a smile on your face and with grace. And who knows, it might come back around. A part of building a network that's difficult is the fact that not everyone's meant for every season. I have had a lot of different close friends over the years, and some have withstood the test of time, others have shifted and gone from super close to not as close. But I truly believe that some people are just here for seasons in your life. Not everyone can go through every season with you, and that's okay. But sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it's difficult to face that reality, but that's why we never want to leave things with conflict. Have grace, have some poise about it. They might get upset. They might be the ones yelling and screaming or dissing you online or whatever it may be. But that doesn't have to be you. You can still love people from a distance. I do it all of the time. But, depending on your capacity, depending on where your life is headed, sometimes different people don't fit at those particular moments. And that can feel icky, but it's not. It's just reality. It's being an adult, and you have to find a way to be okay with that, especially as you continue to grow and level up in your life. I want to end this by talking about Zach. So, Zach is honestly the greatest investment I've ever made. And I think that the person that you marry or intend to marry should be that, because you're going to be spending your entire life with this person, God willing. And he's a direct reflection of me, and I am a direct reflection of him. And we are very aware of that and conscious of that as we go into different spaces. And something that I really value about Zach is he is a master at networking. I watch him do it with so much ease. It is not something that naturally comes easy to me. It's something that I've had to learn, but he gives me so much advice in this space and grounds me and centers me and lets me know when I'm doing too much, lets me know when I'm not doing enough. He plugs me in these different spaces, specifically as I'm growing in the business world, that it's just invaluable. It's invaluable. He's my biggest cheerleader. He's my biggest critic. But I know that it's all coming from love because, like I said, we are direct reflections of one another. So I know that he just wants me to be my very best, and he doesn't sugarcoat. I beg for it. I ask him to sometimes, and he does it a little bit. He's a sweet man, but he's pretty honest with me, and I need that. Your network can't just be people that are, just cheering you on, throwing the confetti, putting on the cherry and the frosting and whatever. You need people that are going to be honest with you. You need people that are going to, yes, cheer you on, but also give you constructive criticism, because otherwise we're not going to grow. We're going to stay in the exact same place, and we're out here trying to have audacity. Okay. We are audacious people. So we can't sit in one spot, and we can't be surrounded by people that are going to be crabs in a barrel, like pulling you back down to the person that they are comfortable with you being. We also are not going to be complacent and be the people that keep us in the same place. So that's my episode for today. I hope that you found some value from this. I want to add one challenge for you, to go out into the world and pour into one person that is in your sphere. Start right from where you are. You don't have to shoot for the stars. If you want us to find somebody that's like at the top of the field that you are in, and you want to send them a message, go for it. However, I think that it would behoove you to start right where you are. Pour into someone right next to you, whether that's at work, whether that's a neighbor. Pour into their cup and start building out that relationship and that network. And who knows? They just might become one of your girls or friends on your bachelor or bachelorette party, and you'll be talking about how awesome a time it was, too. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Remember that we have new episodes every Wednesday, and I will see you next week.